Welcome to this edition of Class of Heroes, where we interview people who are making a positive impact in the lives of children and adults nationwide through nutrition. My name is Bart Christian, and in this program we will be talking with men and women who share a real passion for child nutrition and a commitment to educating our nation's children on healthy eating habits that they will hopefully carry far beyond the walls of the school cafeteria. These people are true heroes. My guest today is Dr. Robert Lewis, Director of Nutrition Services in Monte City School District in California, where he oversees food service operations, nutrition education, a central kitchen plant, and 15 school serving sites. Robert has served in multiple national and state leadership roles with the School Nutrition Association. Currently, he serves as state treasurer for the California SNA. Dr. Lewis has more than 28 years of experience in the child nutrition industry and is a leader in California, as well as nationwide, in developing effective systems for child nutrition programs. His program has been routinely held up as an example of the highest nutrition standards, and as a result, the program experiences sustained high child participation rates in every site. He is committed to offering the highest quality service to his customers, and that is made evident by his district's numerous national recognitions. In recognition of his leadership, Dr. Lewis was named 2018 Director of the Year for the California School Nutrition Association. Dr. Lewis is an advocate for improved childhood health by means of deliberate, collaborative public policy, and as a result, was led to earn his doctorate degree in public administration. His district implemented breakfast in the classroom for all schools in El Monte in 2013 and also began a district-wide after-school supper program in 2012. Both programs remain strong and enjoy high participation. Robert is enthusiastic and a constant advocate for child nutrition in any venue he visits. I have heard it said many times that a hungry child cannot learn, and I would add that a hungry child can't function at the levels needed for effective learning. Dr. Lewis exemplifies a commitment to that belief in everything he does every day for the children in El Monte School District. I have been blessed to call Robert my friend for many years, and I am truly honored to be able to share his enthusiasm, wisdom, and experience with you today. Now to our interview with my great friend and a true hero of child nutrition, Dr. Robert Lewis.
Hey, Robert, it's great to have you with us today, and I really appreciate you taking the time to share your enthusiasm, your experience, and your wisdom with our listeners today. And, I've had the pleasure to get to know you very well over the last few years, and I just really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Welcome, Bart. Glad to be here.
Well, Robert, one of the things I've never asked you, and one of the questions I've never asked you is, how did you get started in child nutrition? I mean, what got you into the industry, and what kind of keeps you hanging on?
Well, that's a great question, Bart. I'll let you know, I did come from the restaurant industry, so I came out here from Texas with a restaurant chain, and I managed a restaurant over in Oxnard, Ventura area for about 2.5 years, and two of my regular customers were retired principals, and they said, hey, we know about a really great job as Assistant Director of Nutrition for Simi Valley School District. And I said, I don't even know what that is, guys. But I love visiting with them, and I trusted them, so I went ahead and put in my application. I got the job there in Simi Valley, and I started on December 1st, 1990. I worked 2 weeks, and then I had 2 weeks off, and I said, oh, my gosh, this is a job for me, because I said, I love this, because restaurant, you work the evenings, you work the holidays, I said I couldn't believe it. So I got 2 weeks off at Christmas. So I really enjoyed that. So I worked in Simi Valley for 7 years, and I immediately went back to school and started plugging away at my bachelor's degree. And as soon as I finished that, I became a director over in Monrovia and did that for 10 years and chipped away at my master's and my doctorate. As soon as I finished my doctorate, I applied for El Monte School District, and now I've been here for 10 years. So basically, I've been in the restaurant business for 32 years and in school food service for 27 years.
Wow.
And what keeps me going is I love serving our future generation. I love to make sure that our future learners are getting the best meal that they can. And personally, I believe that everybody ought to be getting a real quality meal. Just like you have papers and pencils and computers, every kid needs a decent meal, breakfast and lunch, to go to school every day.
Yeah, isn't it true that it kind of feels like some days I'm out, it feels like it truly is the best work of life, working with these kids.
It certainly is, yep.
It is. One of the things people don't know about you is your district has been recognized across the country multiple times. I mean, literally not just your district, but your school sites as well, with multiple national awards. And so, by looking at that, I know that you're a motivator and you're great at keeping your staff enthused about what they're doing. And if you could post a sign in every school kitchen across the country, I mean, in just a few words, what would that sign say and why?
The sign would say, "Building healthy bodies and brilliant minds, one meal at a time."
I love that.
That's what we're doing. Building healthy bodies and brilliant minds, one meal at a time.
Yeah, and not only that, but building healthy eating habits for the rest of their life.
Yep.
Yeah. And I know you said I know this, you talked about getting your doctorate and your master's degree, so that means you've got to be a reader. And I'm a kind of a voracious reader too. So if you were going to recommend a book or books that have a great influence on your life, what would they be?
Well, I would have to say one of the ones that I love right now, it's called Good to Great, and it's by Jim Collins.
Mm-hmm.
So I've really enjoyed reading that, and more of a mainstream book. But if you're looking more like an academic book, I would have to say Governing by Network, and that would be by Stephen Goldsmith and William Eggers. I use that as a reference book because in school districts and public entities, we do a lot of collaboration, and that's really the only way we survive is doing collaborative public policy, and that was the basis of my dissertation, and it's the way that I live my life. We collaborate with the city, we collaborate with our community, and that's really what sustains us, is our ability to listen to our community and respond to their needs.
And I agree with that 100%. What made Good to Great so impactful for you?
What I liked about that is it took a number of different companies and corporations and shows, exactly what they did at the beginning. But as you see, over a period of about 10 years, different corporations and companies that looked similar, some of them fell away and some of them grew. And the book shows you exactly what techniques they used to sustain their growth and to keep on going. So I thought that's great because that's something we need to do in school food service. Many of us in California are dealing with declining enrollment, so we have to find new, creative, innovative ways to keep our revenue stream coming in.
Yeah, and having been in so many different districts and done so many different things, because I didn't realize that had the breadth of experience that you've had literally across the country. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's been times when things didn't go your way. Like we've all had times when things didn't go our way, and it looked like we were going to maybe failing or probably seemed to be failing at something. Is there a failure that you can kind of looking back on, really kind of sets you up for something great in the now?
Yeah, I can think of one. I had this really strange idea one time that I was going to sell door-to-door life insurance in West Texas, and I did that for about 3 or 4 months. I said, "This is not for me. I am not a salesman. My dad can sell. He can sell ice to Alaskans. He's just a born salesman. But me, I said no way." And I went. They sent me last time that I did that. They sent me to Kansas. Nothing against Kansas, but they sent me to Salina, Kansas, December 23rd. And I said, "It is so cold I can't even breathe." I said, "I don't want to do this for a living." So I called my parents and I said, "Can I come home?" This is way back in 1980 something. Yeah. I said, "Can I come home, please?" And they said, "Yeah, you can come home." So I went home and I immediately went to restaurant management school after that, and then that was it.
Yeah, it's funny how things don't seem not to go your way sometimes, and then when you look back, that's the thing that sets you up.
Yeah.
To be where you are now. I can look back on so many things in my life and look at that, and looking at different things around particularly your food service career. What are some of the most worthwhile investments you've ever made? It could be money you've invested, time, maybe class you took, energy in a project. And what's one of the best investments you've ever made?
Well, I think the best investment is in people, because I like to get to know the teachers and the principals out there. Our programs don't survive unless we know our other faculty members and classified members, and unless we're willing to work with them. For example, we have breakfast in the classroom in every school, in every classroom, preschool through 6th grade. That's been happening now for 5 years, and no one has dropped out. And
Wow.
what that speaks to is our ability to listen to our teachers and listen to our custodians and listen to our principals and parents and keep those programs going, keep the menu fresh and everything. But I'm just really proud of the fact that we haven't had anybody drop out. And, you know, it's a big effort, but everybody pulls together and everyone believes in it. And I have to say, you know, if you invest in not just your employees, but people that you work side by side with, that goes a long way.
You operate a pretty successful supper program, too, in the district, don't you?
Yes, Bart, we do. Back 6 years ago, we decided to do the supper program, and that came actually from the teachers, the after-school teachers. They said, you know, some of these kids, they're in school. A lot of them are low income. Parents are having to work, you know, mom and dad both working outside the home. And some of these children are on campus till 5:30 or 6, and all we were giving them was a snack. And a snack was basically just milk and fruit. And the teacher said, you know, they can't live on that. Is there something else you can do? I said, sure. And I heard about the CACFP, which is a child and adult care feeding program.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, let's do that. So I looked into it, and we decided to do it. And that was on December 1st. We did all 14 schools at the same time. Now, I will have to say, I do not recommend ever doing that, starting a supper program at all 14 schools at one time. So we did learn our lesson there. So when we started the breakfast program the next year, we did one school at a time every 2 weeks. But, yeah, the supper program is going really good, and we have a healthy supper for every kid every day, and they're really quality meals. Real proud of them.
Just real quick, I got a question about that. And I've spoken to other directors and gotten this question or had a statement. How do you staff that supper program? I mean, that's one of the things. It's got to be one of the toughest things to get people to. Yeah, is that additional staff, or do you have people hang around for the day, or do you bring them back?
We get the meals ready for the after-school workers. We work with a number of different clubs, and the clubs actually serve the meals. They're at this point they're cold meals, so we don't serve hot meals. Mm-hmm. We have different wraps and sandwiches and salads that we do, and nothing repeats. We have 22 different items that don't repeat through the month. So it is a variety of different items. They serve the meals. We give them a roster to check off, and then they put the leftovers back in the refrigerator. But every school has their own refrigerator where the designated teacher can go in, take the meals out, they serve the meals, make the check marks on the roster, and put everything back in the refrigerator that was left over.
So it's a real collaboration between administration and food service.
It truly is. It's a true collaboration. So, and we love to do it because we have a variety of clubs that we work with. We have academic clubs. We have a soccer club. We've had other different types of sports clubs like a athletic running track club. Right now, our latest one is we work with a mariachi club, and these kids are learning to be mariachis. They're fantastic, by the way.
That's got to be a blast.
They're having fun. So we have that club also. Their teacher said, "Hey, we want to have suppers too." I said, "Sure." And what we do is we go out and we train them on all the food safety rules and what to do and how to do the rosters. And they said, "Okay, great." So it's going pretty strong, but like you said, it's true collaboration.
Yeah, that's great. Well, and we've all got our little quirky things we do, and things we all have our unusual habits. Have you got a unusual habit, or maybe a silly thing that you do, or take or participate in that you just love to do?
I can't. Let me think about that. A silly thing I like to do. Well, I can, like today, I love to go out and barbecue. We have an all-district barbecue right now going on, and we have 1,200 kids at one school. So I said, hey, let the Texas boy get behind the barbecue. So I did, and that was a blast. I love doing that kind of stuff. So I love getting out and working with employees once in a while.
So you set up grills and do hamburgers or things like that? For the kids,
hamburgers and hot dogs. Sometimes the younger kids, they want hot dogs, but we give them a choice of either one. But we like to celebrate different achievements. So when schools make a a headway with some type of academic achievement, we'll set up a barbecue for them. And actually, for our department, it is a nice revenue stream because instead of the school having a pizza party on their own, if we sponsor it and we host it, then we claim all those meals. And so the revenue stream comes towards our department instead of going out to, somebody else.
Yeah, that's a great thing. And plus, it's a carrot for the kids to do well.
Yeah. Well, on days like today, we have 95% participation, so that's what we want to aim for.
Yeah, well, who's not going to go for a hamburger and hot dog, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's right. Okay, in the last few years, have you developed any kind of new beliefs, new behaviors, new habits that have anything you've incorporated into your life that has made a big difference? An example would be like for myself, and I've incorporated meditation into my daily routine, and that's really made a huge difference for me. And there's anything like that you can think of you've incorporated that's made a big difference?
Well, immediately what comes to mind is I really do like going hiking on Saturday or Sunday, or sometimes both. But all of my dogs are rescue dogs. So 3 years ago, I rescued a German Shepherd, which he has a lot of high energy. I used to have a Chow Chow who passed away. Chow Chow did not have high energy. He did not want to go hiking or walking very much. But this young German Shepherd, he's got me out there. But I really enjoyed it, I have to say, and right here in Southern California, there's so many hiking trails to get out there. And if you just go for an hour, hour and a half, so refreshing to go back into nature and then coming back, and my mind is at ease. And it's amazing what kind of goal planning you can do when you're out in nature like that, hiking. And that's kind of a habit I've gotten into now, and I love it. I don't want to give it up.
Yeah, but you're right. You get outside and your mind just sort of, after a little bit of time, just a little bit of walking, your mind does clear up. That's great.
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing you just said, too, is I don't know if you know this or not, but the only dogs I've ever had are Chows and German Shepherds.
How about that?
How about that? That's great, yeah. Looking at the future, what kind of advice would you give to a smart-driven college student who's thinking about pursuing a career in nutrition, particularly a career in the child nutrition industry?
Well, the advice I'd give them is, of course, get your nutrition background. If you can get a registered dietitian's license, that's great. But what you also want to focus on is getting a business education. So even if it's a minor or even as an associate in business or accounting or something like that, that's really what you're doing day to day. You're really managing a restaurant chain. And that's what I tell everybody. I have 14 restaurants out there that I manage every day in a central kitchen here. All the food comes from our central kitchen. So basically you're the head of a restaurant chain, and you have to manage it that way. It's fun to just think, we're just doing recipes and doing taste testing. That's part of it. But really, people are depending on you to create jobs and sustain those jobs and sustain your own department.
And that's just become more and more a part of the child nutrition director's job over the last 10 to 15 years. It just seems like every year that becomes more and more a huge role or a huge part of what y'all do.
Yeah, yes, I would say so, Bart. Yes,
yeah.
It is, and especially all the new rules and regulations coming down, and purchasing rules and regulations. So you really need to have a solid background in business to be able to be successful.
Yeah, I agree. What popular advice should that person ignore? I mean, what things have you heard, or that advice should they ignore, or maybe what's some bad recommendations you hear offered to people in the industry sometimes?
That's a good question. Well, I don't know that you should ignore anybody's advice, but just kind of weigh it. I think it's much better to take advice from people who have experience. There are a lot of people who want to come and change things all the time. We have, as we like to say, the most regulated meal in America, because every time somebody gets elected to the Senate or the Assembly, they want to make new rules and regulations for us, but no money, right?
That's exactly right.
So I would say, definitely pay attention to nutrition rules and regulations, but just understand that we're here to feed the kids. we're here to make a difference in their lives, and what adults want to do is second. So the best thing to do is listen to the students. The best advice you can get is from the students. And I think we underestimate the younger generation. So what do I mean by that? The younger generation, they know that there's a childhood obesity epidemic going on. They know that there's a juvenile diabetes epidemic going on. They know that. They see it on the news. It's amazing if you sit and ask kids to work with you and ask them for solutions, what they can come up with, what they want. So, for example, I did that with a group of students, and they said, hey, we would like to have salad bars in every school. And I said, you're going to make me have a salad bar in every school? Yeah, we want to have salad bars. I said, great. So I let them think it was their idea. I called the Chef Ann Foundation. This is some more collaboration we do. I said, Chef Ann, can you get us some salad bars? And she did. Over a period of 2 years, she got me 14 salad bars that we put in, no cost to us.
Wow.
For the equipment. They're in every school now, and of course, we have to buy the food, but there you go. And I tell the students that it's their idea. One thing else I would like to mention is over the past 28 years, I have a saying, please don't tell me the kids won't eat healthy, because they will. For example, the salad bars. If you load up the salad bar with a variety of fresh fruits and vegetables that are cut up into bite-sized pieces where they can manage them, and you just put it out there, the kids will flock to it and eat it. But if you have an adult standing over there saying, eat those cucumbers, that's healthy. Eat that zucchini, it's healthy. Of course, they're not going to do it. But if you let them have the choice, then they will eat healthy. And I know that that's true because I see it every salad bar day.
And I'm seeing it more and more because I visit a lot of sites throughout the country, and I'm seeing it more and more at elementary and middle schools particularly, where they're just really flocking to the salad bar now. And high schoolers are a little different, but those kids they're really, you're exactly right. I mean, they're really starting to experiment with things that a lot of people don't think that they would try.
They surprised me. Like, for example, we did a taste test, and they said, we want to have pho, and we want to have all different types of Vietnamese food and Korean food. So I thought, really? So we put some of those things out there. We have a Korean beef dish out there. It's one of our best days. And I thought, of course, these are kids from L.A., and they know all kinds of different types of foods. But it's just surprising what they will flock to. But I would have never had that idea if I was just sitting as an adult thinking, what should I if you go to them and ask them, they'll tell you. And just ask them to talk with you honestly, they come up with some great ideas.
Yeah, from the mouths of babes, right?
Yeah.
So in the last 5 years, I know you've been busy, and you're obviously a very busy person, and we all have some distractions and things that want to pull us away from our task and take our time. But in the last few years, what have you become better at saying no to? And do you have any particular approaches that might help people in saying no to things that that they need to back away from sometimes?
Well, I do have a hard time saying no to voluntary positions. But what I do say no to these days are a lot of volunteer work. I mean, I would love to do volunteer work all day long, but my focus is on my kids here in El Monte. That's my focus. So I'm flattered to be asked to be on a lot of different committees and boards and things like that. But I have gotten to where I need to just say no to those things. They are very tempting, but I've had to say no to some of those.
Yeah, I agree. Sometimes when people your time, we all got the same amount of time, right?
It's true. It's true. Not to say that I don't volunteer. I still do. I'm still like the state treasurer for California School Nutrition Association and things like that. I still serve on the Culinary Institute on their Health Your Kids collaboration board. But I could spend all my time doing that, and really my bread and butter is right here working in El Monte with our kids. And what I love to do is, like I did today, get out and see the kids and see their reaction and listen to what they want on the menu. And, that's our bread and butter. That's why we're here. And we're here to make a better life for those kids.
Well, you may have just answered the last question. And the last question is, when you're feeling a little overwhelmed or unfocused, or maybe you've lost your focus temporarily, what do you do to get your focus back?
Yeah, I like to go out to the schools and see the kids at lunchtime, or what I did last night is I went to the open house. And I loved going to the open house. And these kids are amazing, amazing. I saw one classroom who they did replicas of all 21 California missions.
Wow.
And I'd been to several of them, but that was amazing. And so I asked the teacher, I said, "What grade is this?" And she said, "Second grade." I said, "Second grade? Oh my gosh, that's amazing." And so I get blown away by the stuff they do in class. And then I love to go to their performances too. Like, we have a group of kids here in El Monte. They're learning the merengue and learning how to do some of the traditional dances. I went to a couple of their concerts, and I said, "Wow, those kids! I'm going to see them on Dancing with the Stars someday." You know. So, yeah. But that reminds you why you're here, and what reminds me, being that I'm working in a very low-income area, some of these kids are depending on 75% of the calories coming from my department, and they're the ones who stay for supper. Those supper kids that are eating breakfast, lunch, and supper with us, 100% of their calories Monday through Friday are dependent on me and my department.
Wow.
And that reminds me of why I'm here, and that tells me I better be doing a good job every single day.
Well, it's quite the responsibility, and I think that El Monte is so blessed to have you as their director, and I know the kids are blessed to have you there, working with them every single day, doing the barbecues and spending time with them. I just think it's tremendous what you do. I really appreciate your time. And have you got any parting words for us before we say bye?
I'm just saying, what my advice would be, just choose a path and enjoy it. And just remember, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey.
Amen. Well, I'm going to leave it at that. God bless you, Robert. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you soon. And again, thanks so much for being our guest today.
Thank you, Bart.
Thank you for listening. May God bless you and the many child nutrition professionals who make up the class of heroes, serving our kids from coast to coast, health and wellness every single day. Thank you for listening. May God bless you and the many child nutrition professionals who make up the class of heroes, serving our kids from coast to coast, health and wellness every single day.